Earlier this year, Phantom Compass started production on a new IP, a learning game about Greek drama aimed at the college and university market. Called Dionysian Dream, the game makes heavy use of documents in the form of collectible notebook pages and voicemail messages. So in this game, the player's notebook is used extensively during the game, and the pages are collected as you proceed through the game. As the pages are collected, they form a cohesive document revealing backstory elements and unraveling the game's modern storyline. So we did the notebook pages as realistic as possible. They basically are intended to look like, a student's notebook, college-age student's notebook, while still getting across crucial parts of gameplay. And they also communicate educational subject matter, so relating to the learning objectives of the game. It's intended to teach the foundations of Greek drama and how it applies to modern Western storytelling. Kind of an interesting game project for us. We find that it provides a richer reality than high-end graphics can provide. It's a low-budget game, and one of the ways that we can improve the reality of the project is by making the notebook pages as documentary style and realistic as possible. I have only a few minutes left, so I was going to wrap up with a few points, but I think maybe I might turn it over to Q&A. I guess, for me, video games are an exclusively designed space. It's not like film where you just capture something that happens to be occurring. It's a space where you're the author, of the space. So how can you effectively have have the game itself be documentary in a design space? Like, there's challenges there for game developers and game designers. When you're the one who controls what the user does and what the user sees and how the user interacts, how does that affect the truth that you're trying to tell? It's pretty tough on developers, I think. Does anyone want to talk about that? Otherwise, I can get into my wrap-up points. I don't see anyone scrambling for the mics, so I'll do my wrap-up. So why would we make documentary games? For one, money. In Ontario, we have great funders. My personal experience is with the Development Media Fund that pairs broadcasters with television and new media producers. There's also the OMDC Cluster Fund, which rewards producers from different industries for working together. You can do your audience a great service. So many gamers really enjoy narrative archaeology, or finding documents and piecing documents together and creating part of the narrative themselves. And also for culture. Games can be documentary media, and using documentary techniques can help mature and expand games as cultural contributors. So perhaps by using documentary techniques, which are time-tested, so-called high culture techniques, we may be able to elevate the cultural significance of games. And for realism, so as I mentioned for this last project, it really helps to boost the realism of the project to use either real documentary footage or to boost the fictional universe of your game by using documentary style or stealing from documentary techniques. Any questions? We've got a few minutes, so I'll let you guys build up some courage and come running for the mic because I know you really want to. Anyone here making a serious game? Nobody? So you're all commercial focused? So earlier I was talking to somebody about how the commercial games industry is not really going to be interested in stuff like this, I think, until it's been proven that it has legs. So right now it's really the domain of smaller independent game development companies like myself or Take Action Games to do games that are considered to be documentary media. Just like a lot of independent filmmakers are primarily responsible for making most of the documentaries that we see, I think it's going to be indie game developers that do a lot of documentary game production. We may have a question. It isn't on right now, right?
The documentary genre is actually pretty interesting. Is there any way you could take that genre and, say, blend it with others, such as action, or blend it into some type of a serious game like we see right now, obviously, PC, Xbox 360?
Sure. I mean, I think, I don't come from a film background, but I think documentary filmmakers consider it to be not so much a genre, but a process of filmmaking, and it's a way of presenting and contextualizing documentary footage. And so, you can absolutely pair that up with action-based or entertainment-based, just like many of these games examples that I showed. There's no reason why you couldn't take real documentary footage and use that, hopefully responsibly, in an entertainment-focused game, or even an action-focused game. Why couldn't you take a World War II era photograph and from that reproduce, as precisely as possible a certain game level, and then show the game player a photograph of that space, while they're playing it, or they see blueprints of it or something like that, so that there's actually documents involved in gameplay. And there's a lot of action-based games right now that use sort of faux documentary media, like BioShock has those voicemail messages and stuff like that, and little film clips. And that's a really interesting way of using documentary techniques in a totally commercially focused environment. Sure, anyone else? Oh, great.
So I'm just wondering, where do you draw the line between a serious game and a non-serious game? Is there a specific boundary, or is it just...
Well, I mean, I think the definition is not exactly a black and white issue. Serious games, there's a lot of commercially focused games that are not intended to be serious games that have serious outcomes. So you can use games that are commercially and entertainment focused for productive purposes or to inform or entertain, inform or teach. So it's not just entertainment based, but serious games, I mean, generally are just not that entertaining by nature. The best serious games are, but it's not always entertainment that we're going for with serious games, it's engagement, right? So we really want to grab you and have you retain what you learn through experience. And to get you to enjoy that experience, often we have to dress that up in ways that are appealing. Hi.
How do you, or what have you done to search for clients? How have you found clients for this kind of game?
One place that you can look like I'm in a few hours I'm going to be on a flight to England to go to this documentary conference. So if you're interested in interfacing with documentary filmmakers, the best place to do it is either at industry group meetings. There's a Canadian documentary group that probably meets at least semi-annually, but they also have a conference every year in Canada. The last one was held in Toronto. I don't know if they're all held in Toronto or not. And in England and Sheffield, they're having a documentary conference as we speak. And there's a lot of interest there amongst producers and funders to fund and produce interactive projects based on documentary films. So those are two really good places to go, is any type of conference that draws together people from that industry. Many of them are interested in meeting with game developers and hearing what the possibilities are. So it's a good place to meet not necessarily clients, but potential partners and funders, which in a way are clients.
Thanks.
Sure. Oh, great. Hi.
How do you see this augmented reality documentary style with marketing and also for long-forgotten platform of DVD extras?
So how does this type of gameplay compete with DVD extras?
How would it offset it?
Well, it's certainly a lot more accessible than DVD extras, because to play the DVD extras, you have to have the DVD. So, but it's interesting that you use that metaphor because it's one that I often use for game extensions to entertainment products or even documentary products. So the thing that comes out of it is almost like a DVD extra, but you can play it anywhere. So you can sit at home, you can do it on the web. Usually the best stuff is web-based because there's no barrier to entry. I think I'm getting the hook. Yeah, I am getting the hook. I'm sorry, if you guys want to talk to me afterwards, that would be great. Thanks a lot.